My friends, today I want to talk to you about something that touches every heart, something that speaks to the deepest needs of our souls. We live in a world that is filled with uncertainty, a world where troubles and trials come upon us like a flood. There are moments when we feel helpless, when we feel lost, when we wonder how we will make it through. But I'm here to tell you today that there is a way, there is a hope, there is an answer. And that answer is found when we put everything in God's hands. The Bible tells us again and again that our God is faithful. From the beginning of time, He has guided His people. He has never left them. He has never forsaken them. And yet, how often do we struggle? How often do we fight? How often do we try to take control of our own lives as if we know better than the one who created us? We hold on so tightly to our problems, our worries, our burdens, as if by our own strength we can carry them. But God never intended for us to live that way. He never asked us to bear the weight of this life alone. Instead, He calls us to trust Him, to surrender to Him, to put everything, yes, everything in His hands. There are times when the burdens of life become so great that we feel we cannot take another step. Some of you here today know what it is to weep in the midnight hour. Some of you know what it is to carry a pain so deep that words cannot express it. Some of you know what it is to feel like no one understands, like no one sees, like no one cares. But I want you to know that God sees, God understands, God cares. And He is calling you today to lay it all down, to surrender it all, to put it all in His hands. Think of a little child. When a child is hurt, when a child is afraid, where does he run? He runs into the arms of his father. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't stop to ask whether his father is strong enough. He doesn't question whether his father loves him. He simply runs and throws himself into those arms, knowing that he is safe. My friends, that is what God is asking of you today. He is saying, come to me, trust me, let me carry your burden. The Bible says, cast all your cares upon Him, for He cares for you. That means every burden, every worry, every fear, put it in God's hands and leave it there. There are people today who believe that God is distant, that He does not see or care about what happens in their lives. They think that He is too busy, too far away, too removed from their struggles. But I want you to know that nothing could be further from the truth. God knows every detail of your life. He knows your thoughts before you think them. He knows your fears before you feel them. He knows your needs before you even speak them. And He is waiting for you to trust Him. When you put everything in God's hands, you are not giving up. You are gaining something far greater than you could ever imagine. You are gaining the peace that passes all understanding. You are gaining the strength that is greater than your own. You are gaining the wisdom that only He can give. Jesus said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. My friends, do you need rest today? Do you need peace? Do you need hope? Then put it all in God's hands. You may say, but you don't understand what I'm facing. You don't know the battles I'm fighting. You don't know the struggles I'm going through. And you're right, I don't know. But God does. He sees the tears you cry in secret. He hears the prayers you whisper in the dark. He knows the pain that you carry in your heart. And He is asking you to trust Him, to release it to Him, to put it all in His hands. Some of you are holding on to things that God never intended for you to carry. Some of you are holding on to bitterness, to unforgiveness, to past hurts that are weighing you down. My friend, let it go. Put it in God's hands. Some of you are trying to control every detail of your life, afraid to surrender because you don't know what will happen next. Let me tell you something. God already knows what's next. He knows the end from the beginning. He has a plan for your life that is greater than anything you could ever imagine. Trust Him. put it all in his hands. Throughout the Bible, we see story after story of men and women who faced impossible situations. But when they trusted God, when they placed their burdens in his hands, he made a way where there was no way. Think of Moses standing at the edge of the Red Sea with an army behind him and no way forward. He could have panicked. He could have given up. But he put it in God's hands, and God parted the sea. Think of David standing before a giant that everyone said could not be defeated. He could have run away in fear, but he put it in God's hands, and that giant fell. Think of Daniel thrown into a den of lions facing certain death. He could have despaired, but he put it in God's hands, and those lions' mouths were shut. And my friends, what God did for them, he can do for you. He has not changed. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who brought down the walls of Jericho, who raised Lazarus from the dead, that same God is with you today. And he is saying, put it all in my hands. But some of you are afraid. You're afraid that if you let go, if you surrender, things won't work out the way you want them to. Let me ask you, who knows better, you or God? Who sees the whole picture, you or God? Who has all wisdom, all power, all knowledge, you or God? If you truly believe that he is who he says he is, then why wouldn't you trust him? Why wouldn't you place everything in his hands? There is no storm too great for him. There is no problem too big for him. There is no burden too heavy for him. And when you put everything in his hands, you're not just placing it in the hands of anyone, you are placing it in the hands of the one who created the universe, the one who spoke the stars into existence, the one who holds all things together. There is no safer place, no surer place, no stronger place than the hands of Almighty God. I don't know what you're facing today. I don't know what burdens you carried into this place, but I do know this: God is here. He is reaching out to you. He is asking you to trust him. Will you do it? Will you lay it all down? Will you put it all in his hands? Right now, wherever you are, whatever you are going through, I want you to make a decision. I want you to take that burden, that worry, that fear, and give it to God. I want you to surrender it completely to him. Not just some of it, not just a part of it, all of it. Every fear, every struggle, every doubt, put it all in God's hands. And when you do, you will find that his hands are strong enough to carry you. You will find that his grace is sufficient for you. You will find that his love is greater than anything you have ever known. You will find that when you place your life in God's hands, you are exactly where you are always meant to be. So today, my friends, don't wait any longer. Don't carry that burden another moment. Don't struggle in your own strength any longer. Surrender it all. Put everything in God's hands and watch what he will do. When you place everything in God's hands, you are making the greatest decision of your life. It is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. It means that you recognize that your strength is limited, but God's strength is unlimited. It means that you understand that your wisdom is finite, but God's wisdom is infinite. It means that you are choosing to walk in faith, trusting that the one who holds the universe together also holds your life in his hands. But the problem for so many of us is that we want to hold on. We want to keep control. We say we trust God, but deep down we still want to handle things on our own. We still want to have the final say. We still want to work things out our way. But my friends, if you truly trust God, if you truly believe he is who he says he is, then why are you still trying to do it on your own? Why are you still holding on to what he has asked you to surrender. Imagine a man who is drowning in deep water. He is struggling, he is gasping for breath, and suddenly a lifeguard reaches out to save him. But instead of surrendering to the rescue, the man keeps flailing, keeps fighting, keeps trying to save himself. What happens? His struggle makes it harder for him to be saved. The lifeguard cannot fully help him until he stops fighting, stops resisting, and simply allows himself to be rescued. That is exactly what happens when we refuse to put things in God's hands. We are struggling, we are drowning in our own worries, our own fears, our own anxieties, and God is reaching out saying, let me take it. Let me handle it. Let me save you. But we keep flailing. We keep holding on. We keep trying to fix things ourselves. And all the while, God is waiting, patiently, lovingly, ready to carry us the moment we surrender. There are so many things in life that we cannot control. We cannot control the future. We cannot control what people say about us. We cannot control what happens to us. But there is one thing we can control. We can choose to trust God. We can choose to put everything in His hands. We can choose to live by faith and not by sight. Faith is not about understanding everything. Faith is about trusting even when we do not understand. Faith is about believing that God is working even when we cannot see it. Faith is about surrendering even when we do not know what the outcome will be. And when you truly place everything in God's hands, you will find that His plans are always better than your plans. His ways are always higher than your ways. His timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't make sense to you in the moment. Some of you have been praying for something for a long time. You have been asking God to open a door, to change a situation, to bring a breakthrough, but nothing seems to be happening. And you are tempted to give up. You are tempted to take matters into your own hands. But I want to encourage you, God's delays are not God's denials. Just because you do not see the answer yet does not mean that God is not working. Just because things are not happening the way you expected does not mean that God has forgotten you. He is working behind the scenes. He is preparing the way. And in His perfect time, in His perfect way, He will bring His plan to pass. Abraham had to wait years for the promise of God to be fulfilled in his life. Joseph spent years in prison before he stepped into his destiny. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before God used him to deliver His people. And in each of these stories, God was working. He was shaping them, molding them, preparing them for what was ahead. My friend, God is doing the same in your life. He is preparing you. He is teaching you to trust Him. He is teaching you to surrender. And when the time is right, when the moment is perfect, He will make a way where there seems to be no way. Some of you are worried about your children. You have prayed for them. You have tried to guide them. You have done everything you know to do, but they're still walking away from God, still making choices that break your heart, and you do not know what else to do. Let me tell you, put them in God's hands. Trust Him with them. He loves them more than you do. He knows how to reach them, how to bring them back, how to draw them to Himself. You may not see it now, but He is working in their hearts. Keep praying, keep trusting, keep believing. Some of you are facing financial struggles. You do not know how you will make ends meet. The bills keep piling up, the worries keep growing, and you feel like there is no way out. But let me remind you, God is your provider. He is Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who provides. He knows your needs before you even ask. Put it in His hands. Trust Him to provide. Trust Him to make a way. He has always been faithful, and He will not fail you now. Some of you are dealing with sickness. You've received a diagnosis that shook you to your core. You are facing pain, uncertainty, fear. But my friend, God is still the healer. He is still the miracle worker. He is still the one who speaks life into dead situations. Put your health in His hands. Trust Him. Believe that He is able. God never promised that life would be easy. He never promised that we would not face trials, but He did promise that He would never leave us. He did promise that He would be with us in the storm. He did promise that when we put everything in His hands, He will carry us through. There are some things in life that we were never meant to carry. Worry is one of them. Fear is one of them. Anxiety is one of them. Jesus said, do not be anxious about anything. He said, do not worry about tomorrow. Why? Because worry does nothing but steal your peace. Fear does nothing but rob you of joy. Anxiety does nothing but weigh you down. But when you put everything in God's hands, you will find peace. You will find rest. You will find freedom. There is no burden too great for God. There is no situation too hopeless for Him. There is no problem too big for Him to handle. The same God who spoke the universe into existence is the same God who is holding your life in His hands. The same God who parted the Red Sea is the same God who is making a way for you. The same God who conquered death is the same God who is fighting for you. So why are you still carrying that burden? Why are you still trying to handle it on your own? Why are you still holding on to something that God is asking you to surrender? He is calling you to trust Him. He is calling you to let go. He is calling you to put it all in His hands. And when you do, you will find that His hands are strong enough. His hands are faithful enough. His hands are loving enough. His hands are mighty enough. He is the God who never fails. He is the God who never forgets. He is the God who never forsakes. So right now, in this moment, I want you to make a decision. I want you to take that fear, that worry, that doubt, that struggle, and give it to God. Release it to Him. Surrender it completely. Put everything in His hands. And when you do, you will experience the peace that only He can give. You will find the strength that only He can provide. You will see His hand move in ways you never imagined. Because when you put everything in God's hands, you will see that He had it all under control all along. When you put everything in God's hands, you will begin to see life differently. You will realize that the things you used to stress over are not worth your anxiety. You will begin to walk in peace. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because you know the one who is in control. You will wake up each morning with confidence, not because you have all the answers, but because you know that God does. Trusting God does not mean that life will be free from trouble. Jesus Himself said, in this world you will have trouble. But He didn't stop there. He also said, take heart, I have overcome the world. That is the key. No matter what comes your way, no matter how hard the battle, no matter how uncertain the future, God has already won the victory. And when you put everything in His hands, you are no longer fighting alone. Some of you feel exhausted because you have been fighting battles in your own strength. You have been trying to figure everything out, trying to make everything work, trying to control every outcome. And it has left you tired, frustrated, and weary. But listen to what God is saying to you today. Be still and know that I am God. Stop striving. Stop struggling. Stop trying to carry what was never meant for you to carry. Put it in His hands and rest in the knowledge that He is in control. The enemy wants you to believe that you have to handle everything on your own. He wants you to think that if you don't fix it, it won't get fixed. He wants to fill your mind with worry, with fear, with doubt. But the truth is, God is already at work. He is already moving. He is already preparing the way. And when you surrender everything to Him, you are stepping into the plan He has already set in motion. Some of you are afraid to let go because you are afraid of what might happen. You wonder, what if God doesn't answer my prayer the way I want? What if things don't go according to my plan? But my friend, God's plan is always better. His way is always higher. His thoughts are always greater. You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and see that He was working all along. Think of the story of Job. He lost everything. His health, his wealth, his family. He didn't understand why. He questioned. He struggled. But in the end, when he put everything in God's hands, God restored him beyond anything he could have imagined. God was working even in the suffering, and He is working in your life too. Some of you are waiting for a breakthrough. You have been praying, believing, holding on to faith, but you have not seen the answer yet. And you are beginning to wonder if God has forgotten you. Let me assure you, He has not forgotten you. He has heard every prayer. He has seen every tear. He knows every longing of your heart. And in His perfect time, He will bring the answer. But sometimes God's answer does not come the way we expect. Sometimes He closes a door because He has something better. Sometimes He removes something from our lives because it was never meant to be there. Sometimes He allows us to go through difficult seasons because He is preparing us for something greater. And when you put everything in His hands, you are choosing to trust His plan, even when you don't understand it. There is something powerful about surrender when you let go and place your life completely in God's hands. You will find a freedom you have never known before. You will no longer be weighed down by worry. You will no longer be held captive by fear. You will no longer feel the pressure to figure everything out on your own, because you will know deep in your heart that God is in control. Some of you are carrying guilt from your past. You have made mistakes, you have fallen short, and the enemy keeps reminding you of your failures, trying to convince you that you are unworthy of God's love. But let me tell you something. God's grace is greater than your past. His mercy is bigger than your mistakes. When you put your past in His hands, He wipes the slate clean. He gives you a fresh start. He restores what was lost. Do not let the weight of yesterday keep you from stepping into what God has for you today. Do not allow the enemy to hold you in bondage to things that God has already forgiven. When Jesus went to the cross, He paid the price for every sin, every failure, every mistake. And when you put your life in His hands, you are made new. Some of you are worried about the future. You do not know what is ahead. You are facing decisions, changes, uncertainties, and the unknown is causing fear to rise up in your heart. But the same God who has been faithful in your past will be faithful in your future. The same God who carried you through yesterday will carry you through tomorrow. Do not waste your days worrying about what has not yet happened. Do not let fear steal your peace. Instead, put your future in God's hands and trust that He is already there making a way. There are people here today who are struggling with unforgiveness. Someone has hurt you. Someone has wronged you. And you are holding on to bitterness, unable to let go. But my friend, unforgiveness is a burden that only hurts you. It keeps you trapped in the pain of the past. It weighs you down. When Jesus hung on the cross, He looked at those who had beaten Him, those who had mocked Him, those who had nailed Him to that tree, and He said, Father, forgive them. If He could forgive those who crucified Him, surely with His help, you can forgive those who have hurt you. Put your pain in His hands. Let Him heal your heart. Let Him take the burden of unforgiveness from you. Some of you feel alone. You feel like no one understands. You feel like no one truly sees you. But let me remind you, God sees you. He knows you. He loves you. And He has promised that He will never leave you nor forsake you. Even when you feel alone, you are not alone. Even when you cannot see Him working, He is there. Maybe you have been looking to people to fill the void in your heart. Maybe you have been searching for validation, for love, for acceptance from others, but people will always fall short. They will disappoint you. They will let you down. Only God can truly satisfy the longing of your heart. When you put your heart in His hands, you will find the love you have been searching for all along. There are times in life when we will not understand what God is doing. There are times when things will not make sense. But that is when faith is required. That is when trust is needed. That is when we must choose to believe that God is good even when circumstances are not. Think of the disciples when Jesus was crucified. They had followed Him. They had believed in Him. And then suddenly He was gone. Their hopes were shattered. Their hearts were broken. They did not understand. But what they could not see in that moment was that God was working. 3 days later, Jesus rose from the grave and everything changed. Right now, you may be in a season where you do not understand what God is doing. You may feel like hope is lost. But just like the disciples, you do not see the full picture yet. You do not know what God is preparing. You do not see the resurrection that is coming. That is why you must put everything in His hands, even when you do not understand, even when it doesn't make sense, even when the road is difficult, because God is always faithful. And when you trust Him, you will never be disappointed. So stop trying to handle it all on your own. Stop carrying burdens that God never meant for you to carry. Stop living in fear, in worry, in doubt. Put everything, your past, your present, your future, your worries, your struggles, your pain, your dreams, in His hands. And watch what He will do. When you truly put everything in God's hands, you will begin to see His power in ways you never imagined. You will witness His faithfulness in your life, not just in the big moments, but in the small details, in the everyday blessings, in the quiet whispers of His presence. You will recognize that He has always been guiding you, leading you, protecting you, even in the moments when you thought He was silent. Some of you have been struggling with fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of stepping into what God has called you to do. But fear is not from God. His word says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." When you put your fears in His hands, He replaces them with courage. He strengthens you. He gives you boldness to step into your purpose, to walk in faith, to move forward in confidence, knowing that He is with you. There are moments in life when we stand at a crossroads, uncertain of which path to take. We pray, we seek guidance, we wait for answers, and sometimes God's direction is clear, but other times He calls us to step forward in faith, even when we don't have all the details. That is where trust comes in. That is where we choose to believe that if God has brought us this far, He will not leave us now. If He has called us, He will equip us. If He has placed a desire in our hearts, He will make a way. Maybe you have been waiting for a door to open and it hasn't happened yet. Maybe you have been hoping for a miracle and it feels like time is running out. But God's timing is never too late. He is never in a hurry, yet He is never delayed. What He has planned for you cannot be stopped by anyone or anything. What He has promised will come to pass. Your job is not to figure out how. Your job is to trust Him, to wait on Him, to keep believing even when the answer seems far away. God is calling you to lay everything at His feet today. He is inviting you to let go of the burdens, the fears, the doubts, and simply trust Him. When you do, you will find peace beyond understanding. You will find joy in the midst of trials. You will find strength to keep going, knowing that the one who holds the stars in place is the same one who holds your life in His hands. My friend, the choice is yours. You can continue to carry the weight of your worries, your fears, your struggles, and your burdens, or you can surrender them all into the hands of a loving and faithful God. You can try to control everything on your own, or you can trust the one who holds the universe together. When you put everything in God's hands, you are not losing control. You are placing your life in the hands of the only one who truly has control. You are stepping into peace instead of anxiety, faith instead of fear, and trust instead of uncertainty. So today, right now, make the decision to let go. Surrender your past, your present, and your future. Give him your worries, your doubts, your dreams, and your desire. And when you do, you will find that his hands are more than strong enough to hold you, to guide you, to bless you, and to carry you through every season of life. He is faithful. He is good. He is in control. Put everything in his hands and watch what he will do.